Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
10 minutes left. Yeah, but there's still some time. It's not the final score. We need more than the numbers we're given. Show us you live and breathe the game. You're more than a name. That's what we came for. We can bring you more than the score. Every story. Let's take this thing off of the field into the real world away from the numbers.
Well, hello again, and welcome to another episode of There's Still Time, the AFTN Soccer Show, broadcasting on CITR Radio from the unceded Musqueam Territory at the University of beautiful British Columbia. If you're listening to this show on the podcast, this is episode 247. MLS is back. We all excited by that?
No.
No? Oh.
But it's because it's
It'll be a long
MLS.
show then.
Because it's MLS. It's nice to have some local football at a different level back.
I'm Michael McCall.
I'm Steve Pander.
He forgot who he was there.
Started doing something else. You're totally throwing everything off at the beginning.
And I'm Zachary Adam Eisenhower.
And we are here to bring you a packed, and I know I say this every week, but this is packed. If we get this done within 2 hours, I'm going to be amazed. But that's the benefit of an 11 o'clock show.
Well,
no one else after
If
us.
if you don't want someone to keep talking, or just have Steve play some music to.
Yeah.
We'll just
do
cut
that.
your mic.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
We have a lot to chat about this week. We're going to start by looking at the big Whitecaps news of the week before we get into our first post-game chat of the week. We've also got a couple of interviews we're going to bring you. One with a new addition, Felipe, and one with the man that made all the headlines today, Alphonso Davies. That's coming up in part 4, but let's kick things off with the Whitecaps news of the week. Lots of comings and goings. More comings than goings this week, so that's always good.
Yeah.
Jordan Much looked like it was dead in the water, then just appeared from nowhere. He's not a DP. He's not a TAM player. Crystal Palace appear to be paying a chunk of his wages.
Which tells you a little bit about how he's here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would imagine if you talk to people and what he's on there, I'd imagine they're paying a sizable amount of his salary.
I would imagine so. But what's your thoughts on this? I mean, we talked about it when it first seemed to be happening, when the mysterious video arrived on YouTube. But now he's here, he's official. If you listened to our last episode 246 during the week, our preview podcast,
I know a lot of people are bothered by it, it seems like. I'm not totally bothered by it. It's a decent signing. I don't think he's going to be a starter right off the bat. He's definitely, because he hasn't played very much over the last few years. Like everybody wants to
hasn't
remind
played at all this season, first team.
But I'm sure he's played
Palace.
reserve games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so I think it'll take some time. He could be a very valuable person. Injuries happen. You're going to need people to come onto the pitch and be ready to go at any time.
You talk about the highlight video, which it was an accident when it went out. It was someone who made an error. And
that happens.
That happens. And you saw the tweet.
Look at Michael Petrasso today.
They have probably tons of like private videos already set up and ready to go.
I've got
Look at the when we'll talk about it later. But there was somebody scored in the game today, and they had the like a poster ready to go up congratulating him for within seconds. So they have that stuff ready to go.
But it was interesting that when they tweeted out his highlight package on purpose, it was like, oh, here's this long-awaited like they
I liked it.
They said much of it.
They had a good laugh. It was a positive social media moment, I think.
I mean, where do you see him fitting in the team, though? Do you see him being a starter?
No.
I mean, you've got a guy coming in, though, from the EPL.
Not for me.
Wait, hang on. He's not a starter for you.
Not at this point. He's going to have to earn his spot for sure.
Okay. In theory, you're right. Every player has to earn their spot in any team, in any squad.
I don't have a problem. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the signing. But he for me, he's not a starter right now. He can become a starter if he. If Robbo sees something in training and stuff like that, and he puts him in, and he actually shows that he can do it in substitution. Because right now I have Gazal, personally for me, Felipe, and then Juarez as my top 3 center midfielders. Whether all 3 of them get in there right now or not, I'm not sure. Nobody's seen very much of much. That's gonna be hard to say.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen much of him, so it's hard to judge where he is at this point. He could be a complete debacle this year and not worth it at all. He could be that.
You're right, Steve.
That Brazilian midfielder that came years ago who was a big. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
I can see his face.
And then everybody was talking so highly of him, and then he just went away.
Tough tackling, hard tackling.
Well, look it up. I'll look it up and I'll see if I can find it.
Ulysses. Tiago Ulysses.
Yeah,
that's what yeah. So it could be something like that, and obviously he's got more pedigree. This Jordan Much, we know a little bit more about him, but right now he's a question mark at best.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. It's true, Steve. Anything is possible. It's highly unlikely that a player that's played where he's played, and even you could say done what he's done.
But you don't rate the.
Personally, it's not my favorite.
It's one of the best leagues
right,
in the
and
world.
you look and if you look at what his wages are, what he's on, it's a considerable upgrade.
Oh, for sure.
And so it's hard not to see him playing. My biggest thing about it, my biggest disappointment about a few of the things that's happened this week is it really feels like there will be even less opportunities for David Norman Jr. to play. It feels more like he's headed for Fresno, which is. Not what I was hoping for, but because you brought Much, you're going to talk about Felipe, I'm sure. And so with all these players in that the central midfield position, it's very, very, very difficult for a player like that to get back.
Well, let's talk about that then. Like you've brought these guys in, but we'll talk about Felipe in a sec. But I mean, you've brought in Much. You've got Ali Ghazal, who I feel might be the odd guy out here. I know lots of people at the start of the season, he would look like the guy they were going to be building this kind of midfield around, and he was the guy that's on the poster. But obviously that means nothing if you're front and center off the poster. But I mean,
Photoshop is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they put him up for all the interviews at the start of the season. He's got this hamstring injury now, but I could see him being the guy that ends up sitting on the bench. Or just,
you know what? Bobby Lenarduzzi says something earlier when the trade happened that day on Friday. He mentioned how Ghazal has played center back, and maybe he's going to be a center back, and then they're going to play somebody else in that holding midfield.
Yeah, that could be an option. I mean, we'll talk about how the defence and stuff look today in part 2, but Ghazal as a centre back could definitely be something that they look at.
It also is not. That also makes the picture not so good for another David. And that's David Edgar.
Yes,
unfortunately.
Well, we'll see what
two Canadian Davids.
Got a deal yet.
No, that's what I mean. It probably closes the door for.
I mean, David Norman. You have to feel that there is a good chance that he's going to end up in Fresno to get playing time because he needs to play. He played midweek in the friendly that they had against Calgary Foothills. It wasn't great, so he needs more playing time to kind of get up to this level.
Well, maybe he was playing against so many ex-teammates he didn't want to hurt him so much.
Possibly. Mitch Perreault, talking of like injured teammates, was playing with Calgary and they did a crunching tackle on him and he's just back from a lengthy injury. And I spoke to him afterwards and he had stud marks down his shin and I said to him, I was really worried for you. It's like, so was I.
But he's okay.
Yeah, but it was a tough tackling game. But Russell Tybert is another guy that you have to wonder now. I mean, he started today.
Played well.
He's looked good. He's looked good in pre-season.
How bad was the knock he took?
Seems okay. But I got a chance to speak to Robbo at training on Saturday just to ask him, the midfield is stacked. How does he fit all these pieces in? So here's what he had to say about that. You're stacked up in midfielders now.
Yeah.
How do you see them all fitting into the team and how do you keep them happy?
Well, it gives me flexibility to whether I play a 1 number 6 and 2 8s or 6 and 8 and a 10. Or I play 3, or I play 2, or I play a back 3 with 3 midfield players. It just gives me so many options. Ali Ghazal is out at the moment for a few weeks, so everyone will assume that bringing in 2 midfield players, Felipe and Jordan Much, and then changing it with Tony Charney going to Chicago. We've got an extra body. I was always going to bring in an extra body anyway, and I felt that the opportunity to bring in Mucci with on loan with the option price was too good to turn down. It was a real low risk, high reward deal for us. Felipe for Tony was the 1 in 1 out scenario. So we're always looking to strengthen. We certainly have strengthened in our midfield, because bringing in 3, as you can say, starting players in Effie, in Felipe, and in Jordan Much is certainly the right direction.
But how would you keep them happy though? Because do you think you might just rotate a lot, or?
Yeah, I will. If you read the experienced managers in this league, Ziggy, I listened to yesterday about LA had probably 15 first team players last year, and they struggled. And the reason why they struggled is because 3 or 4 injuries. They had 11, and if they weren't in form or they were on national team duty, the depth of the squad wasn't good enough. So they want to carry 20 or 22. I have 22 strong squad, and I'm happy with that. And my young players then are on top of that, and they'll be filtered in and around that 20 odd players, deciding on who gets injured or who's away on national duty. So my job is to keep them happy, but they need to perform. If they perform, they stay in the team, and if they don't, then there's someone as good as them ready to step up.
Robbo there on the Caps midfield, and it is definitely going to be a battle for competition and a battle for places, and we'll have to see how the formation and everything plays out as well. As he mentioned there, lots of midfield guys coming.
And another guy that came because somebody left.
Yes, Felipe.
Yeah, and who left?
I can't, Tim someone.
The ginger.
Can we call him Filipao?
Ginger defender.
Ginger defender. I don't remember any ginger defenders.
From New York.
He's already been blocked from my memory. Yeah, Parker has gone. I genuinely thought he was going to end up in Montreal, and that he would just sit out this weekend.
We talked about it. Yeah. I mentioned it to you, and you were like, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I'd just fly home in the plane with him. But no, he's gone home. He's gone to New York. Talking to Bobby Lenarduzzi about it on Friday, he was asked, did his camp ask to be in New York? Did they make any demands? And no, they'd have gone anywhere that wanted to pay him the money, basically. But no, I mean, Steve asked, no Western teams were interested.
One showed a little bit.
One showed a little bit, but there's no firm offers. There was all Eastern teams that were interested.
Because
in
I think
was good.
Maybe they knew that. Maybe the Western teams realized that he wasn't interested in staying here. Maybe they heard the news, because a lot of people said he wanted to go back east, and they thought that. So they go, "What's the point of even calling?"
I know we talked about this, I think, last week, but it's really interesting to see how quickly people turned on him.
Yes.
The money thing, the playing the ball to the back, like it was. I was a little surprised.
What do you think of the return that we got from him? Because apart from
very
Felipe,
solid,
we got 500,000 over 2 seasons in TAM and an international spot. To me,
and a percentage.
And a percentage
of if you just
yeah, that's a fantastic deal.
Well, yeah, well, when you consider they Vancouver was saying they didn't want to take less than $1 million for him. They got 500 plus a player plus an international spot. So it seems reasonable.
If you think of it, an international spot goes about 100,000, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Last year, yeah, and then Felipe's you put a figure on him at about 400. 350, 400. So that they're getting close to that $1 million mark.
Only 350.
That's
the Steve.
I'm going moderate. Estimate.
Do you think he's lower than Dax McCarty of last year?
I don't know. I'm just going moderate. I'm just showing that they're very
close to the million.
Close to the million, if they're not over.
Close to their valuation of the player.
But Felipe coming in, he obviously makes the midfield stronger. He's got 6 seasons experience in MLS. He's scored goals everywhere. Every season he's got goals. He's got a number of assists. And he's been really excellent with both Montreal and Red Bull. So, I mean, the midfield is stronger, but what about the defence? Do you think, we chatted a little bit there, do we think Edgar will get this deal?
Well, there's no spot, right?
No, there is a spot.
Well, they can make a spot. Someone would have to move, I think.
Someone go to Fresno.
To Fresno.
Yeah.
But again, talking about this Calgary Foothills game midweek, Edgar played in that. and he had a horrible outing.
He looked like a player who essentially hasn't played in over a year.
Yeah. He looked a bit gassed after about 15-20 minutes as well, but he is getting back to full fitness. So I think
he's not at full.
No,
not close to.
Not close at all. So the Caps want to see how he does before they offer him a deal. I want to see him signed. I'd like to see him signed. I just think his presence in the locker room and his work with the young guys, the young Canadian guys, it would be exceptional. And I do genuinely feel he can challenge for the start spot beside Waston, or especially when Waston goes away for the World Cup. But let's get back to Felipe.
Yeah.
Great track record in the league, and a guy that genuinely wants to be here. He is so happy to be here. Now, some of you may have read my interview with Felipe on Saturday night that I put up. We're going to play the whole interview now. So part of it you'll have heard or read in the interview, but there's some other stuff that I asked him as well. And you'll just get from this just how delighted he is to be in Vancouver. So let's hear now from Felipe. So Felipe, finally in Vancouver. I know the club's been interested in you for a couple of years now. How does it feel to come to a club when you know that the coach has really admired you and coveted you and wanted to bring you here for a while?
I think it's the maximum for a player. You know, when you know that a manager, a team, or the organization wants you, and that show, you know, like you really wanted here. I think the players welcomed me very well. I was very happy to train with them and get going with them. You know, my new brotherhood, my new guys that's gonna be in battle with me, and I want to show them how much I care about this the soccer, you know, this life, because for me it's not a job. For me it's a way to live. It's a lifestyle, and I'm gonna give everything I have for them, for this club, for this organization, and looking forward to get going.
Now, you've been in the league 6 years already. Obviously very little surprises you, but did you know you were on the trading block, that New York would be keen to let you go if someone came in?
In this league is always gonna be ready, you know, because those things happen, and you just need to be able to accept it. But you know, for me it was a big surprise, and on the moment that happened, I was extremely happy, really happy from the bottom of my heart to just, you know, be in an organization like this. You know, I think we have a team to just, for one, we have only one goal, win, because with this team, in all the competition we play, we have the quality and the personnel to win everything, and that's won't be changed from my mindset. You know, I'm coming here to win, and I want to bring the MLS Cup and make history.
Now, I know it's different over here than it is in, say, Europe, for example, in that you have no say as to where you end up, but how difficult is it as a player? You've just had a family, or you've just had a new baby, to suddenly uproot and travel from one side of the country to another country, but also another coast?
Yes, you know, sometimes it's hard on the family, but my wife she's my rock. She's the person that gives the balance in my life. She always been there for me, and now isn't different. You know, I want to take the notes to thank you, the Red Bulls fans, the organization, for everything they did. You know, for the tremendous respect and the appreciation they showed me the past 3 years, and excited to be here. Very happy. My family is happy. We were looking already last night on apartments and things that where we could live, and you know, we are just can't express how happy we are to be here, and you know, now it's time to get to business, and tomorrow starts a big game against the team that I played for, and my ever MLS game was here in 2012 against Vancouver, so it's a special moment for me, and hope to get the 3 points.
When you were at Montreal, there was talk about you getting permanent residency, but there was talk about you even having interest in playing for the Canadian national team. Did you ever get your permanent residency here, and do you still have an interest in maybe doing something like that?
You know, like I always said, wherever I go, that's my own focus. Now I'm here. If that happens and comes to to their attention and they have interests, of course I'm always open to do what is best for the soccer, for my life and for myself, and the best interest of everyone. I think if you come the opportunity, of course I'm gonna accept it, and it's always challenging, and I love to be challenged and to get better as a person and as a player.
You're going to know a lot of the guys in this team because you've played against them, you've seen them in the league. I'm sure you've had some battles with Kei Kamara and guys like that over the years. What do you think of the team that Carroll has built this year? You must feel that it's got a really good chance of making a deep run.
Yes, we have important piece that's been around in this league for many years. Kai, Sean Franklin, Berkshire, Watson. We have many leaders. And that's important thing in teams. Have leaders and people that can lead the young guys, because we have a lot of young guys with a lot of potential as well. We need to get them, to believe that they always can be better. And be able to always be there for them for anything they need for them to be better and get the best of them as well.
And just last thing. There's a lot of midfielders at this club. There's a lot of box-to-box guys. There's maybe a lack of a number 10. But where do you see yourself fitting into this team, or what has Carroll said to you that he sees you ideally fitting into the squad right now?
So in Montreal I played as a number 10, as a number 6 and as a number 8. In New York I played as a deep midfielder. I'm over the years I play in different positions, so I'm able to play whatever the team needs me, and I'm here for the team. The most important thing for me, the team always comes first, and I will be there to do whatever it needs for the team at the moment.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Good luck.
So Felipe there. And if you read some of his old comments, old interviews, stuff that he said on Twitter, and I know it's easy for players to say that they want to be here and they're happy, and Zach and me were just talking about this while that was playing, but he does seem to fully embrace whatever city that he lives in. He loved being in Montreal, he fully embraced it. He loved New York. When you look at it now, it's actually quite sad. He tweeted out after his second son was born on February 15th that he's born, he's going to be a New York Red Bull for life, because he didn't think for a minute that he was going to be in the chopping block. But this is MLS, and it's like there's just nothing to give you any stability in your life. So I think he's going to love it here. I think he's going to fully embrace living in Vancouver, and I'm really glad that we have him.
Yeah, it's nice when people want to be here, and hopefully it's like, I think this is a little bit different. I think this is someone who doesn't fully embrace things and recognizes the importance of the football club to the city, and so I'm excited.
Well, I mean, he said there that football is his life, and it's like more than just like a game to him. It's more about making money. It's his whole life.
Let's put it this way: he doesn't. It doesn't feel like he's a mercenary.
No, not at all. And we got a brief glimpse of him today. Not much to go on in that little outing, but I think he's going to be strong for us, and he's going to definitely be a starter. If we look at just the roster for the season, just to finish this section off, a few surprises in there. Kendall is now a DP, and I don't think any of us really saw that one coming.
But I think he's one of the best players.
Yeah.
If there was no salary cap, he'd be making way more money in MLS.
Breck Shea is also still a DP. Kei Kamara is not, which was a bit of a surprise as well.
They basically swapped DPs.
But the thing with Breck Shea is they were going to buy him down, and Robo had mentioned on Team Radio that they were going to buy him down. But if
MLS rules came in the way.
MLS rules.
Explain this. You were telling me about this.
If they buy him down using discretionary TAM, then they can't trade him, is my understanding.
They can't trade him.
They can't trade him?
No.
Or if they trade him, they lose that
TAM?
No,
they can't trade him. I got that verified today by an MLS official.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They can't trade him. It's not even that they'll lose the TAM and they can trade him. They can't once it's still there.
We were having this discussion on Twitter, and I think it was Paul Tenario said, you could still trade him, you would just lose that TAM. But no, if you've used discretionary TAM, he cannot be traded.
And that's because the clubs have to pay that money. It's not the MLS money.
And because they haven't brought him down, I don't think Shea should be buying any new furniture.
No, and the other thing is actually that's a secondary thing. The number one reason why they couldn't buy him down was because he's a current DP. If they bought him down, they would have had to sign somebody at or above what he's making. As another designated player.
It has to be a new one as well.
Yes, it has to be a new designated player. Mm-hmm. So because they didn't have anybody targeted for that, ready to go in this window, that's another reason why he wasn't bought down. Because at that point, you can't do anything about it. It's just not going to happen. So the secondary reason we talked about trading, that doesn't even come into play because that first reason comes in.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the makeup of the roster, my understanding is basically this. This is the roster. There could be someone going to Fresno and something like David Edgar or something coming in.
Yes. They've still got till May before the transfer window closes as well.
And then they got the other date in the season.
The whole Mane Chani trade took place at the end of March as well. So things happen.
But my understanding is kind of like in terms of spending, this is it. So if they want to bring someone in, someone has to go out, and the value of the person going out will dictate the value of the person coming in. I don't know that factually. That's just my understanding.
I would think so. Last time we'll just talk about this international spots. We now have one free from the trade with New York, and
so they could sign you.
Well, yeah, they could. I'm permanent resident, so I'm fine. But they could still sign me. Just want to put that out there. But Bobby,
they were up to 11.
Yeah.
Aha and Waston got their green cards and brought them back down to 9, and then they acquired the 10 spots. So that's why they.
How does Waston does not live in Point Roberts? How does he have a green card? Oh, because his mom.
Waston, because it's a U.S. employer, was able to apply for the green card, and it was quicker.
Remember
to get
the contracts with MLS.
Yeah.
So what? So
it's easier to get a U.S. green card than Canadian permanent residency.
And that's different than what Kakuta was doing because he was becoming a citizen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So green cards and citizenship's different. Because I thought he was getting his Canadian PR, but no, it was US green card.
Right.
He might still get his Canadian PR, but it can take about 18 months. So this is just way easier.
Totally. So in terms of the makeup of the squad, one other thing that I think is important, and does go back to Felipe, is was talking with people yesterday, today, whatever, about who Felipe is and where he can play and stuff. And I think at Dead Bull, what happened with Felipe is they dropped him a lot deeper, and he usually played, from my memory, and I don't watch that much Dead Bull, but I've often played as like a deep lying playmaker, more like an 8-ish kind of whatever kind of role. However, when he was in Montreal, he played a bunch of attacking midfield.
As he just said in our interview.
Right, exactly.
So he played a 10 there.
So all the people, and even today when he came on, he played in the 10. So all the people who've been saying that Vancouver doesn't have a real attacking midfielder, I think this is as close as it's going to get. Him and Jordi Reyna.
Yeah, and then where do you fit in Reyna? Well, we'll be back with more chat, looking at today's win against Montreal after this.
Hi guys, this is Felipe. I'm the new arrival to the Whitecaps. Thanks for listening, AFTN.
There's a pond where many children perish. The water is black even in the sunlight, deep and dark, nightmarish. Some believe the body's surface and bask underneath the moon. Others say they seen a headless boy stumbling around the lagoon.
Insane clown posse there with Fawn's Pond.
I can't believe that song was clean. They went like that long without swearing.
Yeah, I made sure I had a cleaned up version of Insane Clown Posse there. I love Insane Clown Posse. Tying in with wrestling. Just for Zach.
Really?
You know what?
Yeah.
Why does it?
They're big wrestlers.
They're actual wrestlers.
They actually wrestle.
Before they did the music stuff?
Who cares?
I don't know
Let's not talk about them.
After.
I'm not a big fan of theirs at all, wrestling or music-wise.
Yeah, I would.
Let's move on.
I would agree with you on that, Steve.
Well, let's talk about something else that was insane. The Whitecaps won a home opener for the first time since 2014.
Has it been that long?
It has. We looked it up.
We had to look it up.
17, 16, And 15?
2014, 4-1 win over Red Bulls.
Dead Bull, yeah. I remember
Then they
that
lost
day.
to Toronto.
One
Then
year.
they lost to Montreal 3-2.
Oh, and then
And
0-0.
Yeah, it was 0-0
Yeah,
with Feli. So, yeah, first time in a long time that the Whitecaps have got off to a winning start.
Yeah, the Robbo is essentially 2-2-1 or 2-1-2 in opening matches.
So 2-1 win today. Made it a little bit difficult for themselves towards the end. I really thought they were just going to blow it in that last 10 minutes, but held on for the win. Before we get into the meat and bones of it, just what's your general thoughts on the game?
I thought Montreal obviously was really tight, especially in the first half, not wanting to give up too much. It's Vancouver had good chances, but they weren't able to get anything on the net or anything like that. And I think they just were able to take advantage of a couple of really bad lapses by Montreal and finish those ones, which helped out.
And they missed some other bigger lapses by Montreal. It honestly.
The Kei Kamara one in the first one was the worst one, yeah.
The slip from Bush.
Yeah, that's one too, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they created that much, but they were able to take advantage and get the job done.
Yeah. Montreal, they seemed happy to play a Whitecap-style road game, just soak up the pressure, see if they could get anything going. They didn't really look interested at all until the closing minutes. They did have a little bit of a couple of threats at the start of the second half. There was a couple of balls that went across the face of the goal that were
Mancuso should have scored.
Yeah, a little bit terrifying that there was no one there. But looking at the first half, they looked poor. They were sloppy at the back.
Yeah.
Well, the first half as a whole wasn't a great spectacle.
Yeah, but Montreal they had a lot of giveaways, but the Caps just failed to punish them. And Kei Kamara did have a couple of chances. Couple of free kicks as well, 3 free kicks as well, that Teixeira didn't get any of them on target, which was disappointing. I thought he was the right guy to take it.
Well, no, the first one I thought Reina maybe should. The angle was bad for Teixeira.
But yeah, you have to get at least one of those on target. They just all kind of whizzed by. Yeah. It wasn't a fantastically inspiring performance, but there was some nice flashes.
49 point something possession?
57.2 possession in the first half.
Oh, yeah, the first half.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was at the end of the game.
Fonzie got past some guys in the first half. Did well, hit the byline, and you thought, oh, he's got it taken off them here.
He likes to play against Montreal.
Yeah, we saw in the second half that he made good of that. But Montreal did start the stronger, as I said, with those 2 chances. But then the big breakthrough, 63rd minute, Alphonso Davies was given a ridiculous amount of room out left by Michael Petrasso.
His Canadian national team teammate.
Yeah. You might not know this.
Oh, was this after the?
Yeah.
Oh.
After the match.
It's over.
What did Steve say?
I didn't see anything to him because I never got a chance.
Steve went into the Montreal locker room to speak to Petrasso.
Not about the game.
No, but
because you care about him as a young Canadian player.
We were to chat to him about Canada.
Yeah, we were going to do a profile about
what's
him.
brought him over here. We're going to do a profile on the site. He said no.
Well, first time he said the media guy went up to him. He goes, "No, I don't want to talk." Right, and then I told the media guy, "I go, it's not about the game. It's about national team stuff. His move here and move back and to time in Europe and stuff like that." Went back to him again, and no, he goes, "I don't want to talk."
Which I think breaks MLS rules.
I was going to say they can't do that.
Yeah, but he's new. He's from another country.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the places he's played, you can do that. I think.
Yeah. He's probably surprised that we're in the locker room to begin with, as a few guys were apparently this weekend. But after the match, I asked Fonzie about that. I was like, were you surprised that you were given so much room? And he said, well, yeah, I know Petrasso from the national team, and he never really closes down on people, so I knew it would be fine. It's like, yes. So I was quite happy.
Playing for Canada has made dividends.
Yeah.
Well, no, the first because Petrasso was trained and brought up as a winger.
Yeah, he's more attacking.
Yeah, so he's almost like a Fraser Aird kind of situation where he is been transferred over to like a right back spot.
Yeah, which they seem to like to do with players in Canada and North America really in general. But a pinpoint cross from Fonzie, bullet header from Kamara.
It kissed the post on the way in, right?
Yeah, Bush more than kissed the post when he tried to stop it. He slammed into it. But the great glancing header. He looked it into the. I just moved away from the mic. Kamara actually looked in the ball into the net, which was fantastic. Yeah.
This is what we have needed for years. Somebody that can be that effective.
Separate from the defender,
Yeah.
get into an open spot and be available to take a header.
Because folks say the Whitecaps play hoofball. We play lots of high balls into the box. We've never had the guy that can do this. And I when we did our predictions this week, I thought someone would like say, "What are you saying?" But no one's even made a comment on this. I have Kamara as winning the Golden Boot in MLS.
For the league, yeah.
I don't see that, but yeah, no, I agree.
Well,
He'll be.
you didn't give a number to that, did you?
No, but I think he'll be in the low 20s.
His best season's 22?
I think so with Columbus when he came back.
I think he'll be in I think he'll be in the high teens.
High teens to low 20s.
So, but I don't know if I think there's other people that are score more.
Anything over 15 would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, 15 was what I thought when we signed him would be a good return. But I the way that he's played pre-season and just the way that he's clicking and the connections he's got with like Teixeira and Davies, I think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm just happy he's got off to a good start because
I'm just hoping in training they'll figure out that it should be Teixeira sending in the crosses and Kamara going in for the headers.
Oh, you saw
unlike that first chance where Kamara sent it in and Teixeira
there was a lot of high balls into Teixeira's head in that first half. It was baffling.
And by high we mean about 5'8" high.
Yeah.
That's like a surprise attack.
Yeah,
because you're not expecting that.
Yeah, I think it surprised him. But it was 1-0 to the Whitecaps, and you thought, well, that's it. They're comfortable now to get this job done. Even more so then when the moment we all wanted to happen, we've all been waiting to happen, Fonzie got his first MLS goal.
It was a great play by Jake Nerwinski to start things off.
Yeah.
He shielded off Piatti.
Yeah.
So kind of shed Piatti, played it into Juarez.
Lovely ball forward by Juarez.
Yeah,
midfielder type of ball.
And Ilbicha was sort of playing off the defender's shoulder, like just it looked on side-ish. They didn't call it back with VAR.
We'll have to wait for instant replay on Monday.
Yeah, they didn't call back with VAR, and just that first touch or the second touch where he put it way out in front of him, I thought, oh no, and then
Darren Maddox situation.
No, that's not what I was. Darren scored this weekend.
I know. Luckily for him, I'm not sure about it though.
They gave it to Assad.
Oh, did they?
Because Matic said
I haven't seen it. Someone just told me he scored. And I was like, oh.
He missed a penalty.
I heard.
We'll come to that in our MLS
I did hear that.
Yeah.
I did hear that. So anyway, that touch I thought was too heavy, and then just at the angle I was at, I didn't see Alfonso's amazing run.
Yeah,
and when he first
Petrasso didn't see it either.
When he first played the ball across,
Neither did
I was like, oh no. But then I was like, oh. And then Bush made a hash of it, like a meal of it.
I've got to say, for your first MLS goal, you'd like it to be a cracker. But
who cares?
He's not going to care. But at the same time, it wasn't exactly a glorious goal.
I'm just thinking of this now, so I didn't go back and check or anything. But weren't we talking about Alphonso Davies scoring his first goal in like the end of the season stuff last year? And didn't one of us say that he would score in the first game?
I don't remember.
I can't remember last week. Never mind last year.
Okay, it was you, Zach.
Probably Zach.
It was apparently was Zach.
Yeah. But I mean, that was 2-0 to the Caps. It looked like they were coasting.
Because they were going on the front foot.
Yeah,
they weren't stepping
had
back
nothing
at all.
to do the whole game. They looked home and dry, but then out of nowhere
they got wet.
Yeah. Mancosu.
Well, he said home and dry.
Mancosu got the Impact fans wet by pulling it back. 2-1. Disappointing not to have a clean sheet, but I don't know what it was. I like Marinovic, as folk know that I like the show.
Okay, I was hoping you would. I thought you were going to blame it on Mon there, but I'm glad you're going there. Because
but I just don't feel comfortable in him keeping a clean sheet. I don't know what it is.
Like he didn't have to do that little like ninja jump or whatever he did because it seemed like he wasn't going to be a powerful header. And if he had just stayed on his feet, he probably would have been able to just catch the ball or smother it.
I think
it was a perfect cross.
It was a nice
because
cross.
Mon couldn't get to it at all. There was no way Mon
I
was
thought it
gonna-
was Mon's fault, and then when I watched it back, I was like, oh no, there's not really.
It's a little
much
bit on Jake, but a lot on Marinovic.
Well, I want to disagree with you a little bit because I felt like, in general, Aaron Mond had a better game than probably most people were hoping or thought he might.
Totally.
And so I, give him a lot of praise and credit for that.
Even the second chance of Makuso, it was more Waston not being able to clear and just allowing the ball to get by him, which was weird.
But I felt like he should have been closer to Mancuso on the goal.
Yeah.
And I felt it was more his responsibility than Jake's because that's the more central player
Yeah,
for them.
you got a point there. Yeah.
But then,
But yeah, it's hard. It was an almost perfect pass.
and that's the 81st minute. And then it really was squeaky bum time, which Robert didn't use that phrase after the game. I was disappointed. It's one of my favourite phrases that he comes out with. But it was almost 2-2.
Mancuso should have
Poor
scored.
by Waston, trying to do what everyone was trying to do with that ball that came in. But I think it might actually have put Mancuso off because...
He didn't expect it to be that clean.
He should have buried that.
Yeah.
That was horrific finishing by him. But great for us. And a 2-1 win.
Talking to Marinovic after the game, he was very...
He did the humble with you.
Yeah, he was very displeased not to keep it going.
I could imagine he would. He's probably gotten some kind of bonus. But we're going to play some audio now from both head coaches. Steve headed along to the Montreal locker room.
Good for you,
Petrasa didn't
Steve.
want to speak to him, but at least their coach did. And then we've got a little bit from Robbo as well. So let's hear now from the Gaffers.
He's the gaffer. You can try it on with him. He's the gaffer. Even when he's on a limb. He's the gaffer. When his back's against the wall. Has the answer to it all. He's the gaffer.
Coach, obviously it's not easy opening the season going cross country. How do you feel your team fared today?
I think the result is quite fair, to be honest. But I think we gave toughest second half to Vancouver, especially the end of the game and the beginning of the second half. And in the middle of this half, we had troubles. We didn't play well, and we conceded 2 goals in a row. And when you are 2-0 down, it's difficult to be back. But I like the character with my team play and came back, and we frightened the opponent until the end. Then this is the positive point I want to have tonight.
Guys, you have like Samuel Piet, Michael Petrasso in the lineup, and a couple more Canadians coming up too. How do you feel the Canadians are going to fit into your lineup?
Hopefully they are very important players within the team. Ryan Edwards as well, and some of them are young players. They discover the MLS as well. Then probably they need a little bit more time to be more comfortable. But they are good players. They have very good spirit at the training. Then hopefully they will improve their level and the team level as well.
For you personally, how is the adjustment going to be for MLS for you? Do you feel it's going to be pretty smooth, or do you think it's still going to be some learning time for you?
No, you don't have so much time to learn in football. It's competition, either MLS or League One or Liga Europa or Champions League. It's always competition where you need to win. Then it's football, 11 against V11. Then I try to do my best within my player, and I'm sure we will have better results one day, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Robo, you said you challenged Alphonso to be a more productive player, to be an elite offensive player, goal and assist tonight. Were you happy with what you saw?
I was. I thought he started the game very well on a positive note for 20-odd minutes. And then he lost his way a little bit prior to half-time. But I challenged him and Christian Teixeira, the bug, at half-time to get more balls, be more positive. And if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. But I do require you to get crosses in and getting in the back stick, and he's certainly done that. So he should be proud of his work, as should every player today.
What's the ceiling for this kid? 17-year-old, is the sky the limit? I know you're trying to temper enthusiasm.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, but
he's good. He's a good player. He's a very, very good young player, and there are very good young players all over. It's important you manage him correctly, but when he does that, you want him to play every minute. And like I said, he done his work today. He put a shift in. We know he's got quality, and it's about consistency because young players go up and down. Senior players go up and down in their form. So it's important we manage him correctly, but he's got himself off to a very good start.
What about Kei? First game proved why you guys went out and got him.
He wasn't bad, was he? No. He led the line very well. It was a mature performance by him, as I would expect. Just hungry to play. When he sets the tone with the work rate up front, holding the ball up, flicking it on, it allows the wider players, the midfield players, to get up the pitch a little bit more. So he was the focal point of our attack today. I thought from goalkeeper to centre forward, we were very comfortable in the game, barring the last 10 minutes when they scored their goal. And then we stopped doing things that we've been doing for 80 minutes and made it a little bit more interesting than we needed to.
I was going to say, was it one of those games where you could seem to control so much of the first half, yet there's missed opportunities, missed chances. As a coach, you get nervous after a while, like...
Yeah, I don't get nervous, to be fair. Maybe I should. I challenged my players. I said to the players yesterday, if you don't get nervous, let me know. You won't play. But I don't get nervous. I actually find out what my players are about when the chips are down. When you concede with 10 minutes to go at home in front of 28,000, opening day, that's when you find out what team you got. And, we're a good team. So we'll take the 3 points. It is only 3 points, but it's a great opening day for the football club.
You did make it a little bit more difficult for yourself towards the end, but what did you think of the defensive back four today? Obviously, Aaron Mon came in for Timmy.
I thought they were very strong. Barring, we worked all week. We know where they're dangerous. We know they're key players in transition can hurt you. That's why they're designated players. So we had to work on that. I thought Jake Nowinski put in an excellent performance, trying to deal with Piatti. We know he's a top player, and the game plan worked. The guys were good, but we did make it a little bit more interesting. And when they scored, I believe they had another chance at the end as well. So on another day, I'm sitting in here 2-2, and I'm very disappointed because I don't think we deserve to get anything other than 3 points.
He's the gaffer. You can't try it on with him. He's the gaffer. Even when he's on a limb. He's the gaffer. When his back's against the wall, has the answer to it all.
He is the gaffer, and personally, I'm just glad that we've got this music back. I've missed it. Hopefully everyone has spent the off-season though watching all 3 series of The Gaffer, quality ITV comedy from the early 80s. So let's look a little bit at some of the individual performances. We touched a little bit on Aaron Mon there, and yeah, for me, he might have been arguably beaten on that goal, but overall, I think he was pretty solid. He dealt with everything well in the first half. Some lovely distribution, including one cross-field pass that he did, which was pinpoint accurate.
But there was other ones too that were not as spectacular as that one, but they were solid and they were up the field and they were.
I liked him,
and inventive or whatever going up.
He also cut out a pass right at the very end to break up a cross or break up a play for Montreal. That was crucial.
Yeah. Do you feel it's his spot to lose now, or do you still see Aha being the guy that's going to come in?
I think if you hear what Robbo has to say post-game, I think he will, because he said that Mont earned the spot.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Tim Parker was here, he wouldn't be in the spot no matter how much he earned it.
Yeah.
But I think for now, he's definitely going to be there next week for sure. I think he'll be in the starting 11.
It seems like it would make sense to remain consistent, especially with your back four. So it would be hard to see that switching for the Houston away.
I agree, and very impressed with Mond. How do you feel Waston looked today? On the whole, I think he was quite good, but he was a little bit shaky at times, and I don't know.
He had one fantastic clearance.
Yeah,
the bicycle kick. Yeah.
No, but the other ones that were less flashy that were still just key.
Do you feel he's going to have to do more without having Parker beside him?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it to me. I know a lot of people value Parker highly, and I'm not saying he's a bad defender but I think he's a very decent MLS defender who was helped by playing against a spectacular defender in Kendall Waston, and I think. In the future, we'll see how Tim Parker, if he can elevate his game to be that kind of defender in New York. But for now, I think if you have a decent defender next to Waston, I think you're going to be okay.
I think Kendall has good pace especially once he gets going over a longer kind of a stretch for a 6'5" dude. But I think he'll miss having Timmy's pace next to him, recovery pace. It wasn't a problem tonight at all. The one area that was a problem was actually set plays, because there was at least twice in the second half. I think they were both in the second half. Where I think it was corners where Mond took a header that Waston was right there behind to smash in.
Yeah.
And the first time was like whatever, no problem. And the second time. Kendall gave him a look and might have said a word, might have said something to him, and it was almost like one of those like a verbal slap, but he's just like, "What are you doing?" Like I was going to bury that.
Well, Steve noticed that Kendall and Kei were having a few chats as some of the set pieces were waiting to get taken as well.
I think that they're not all fully on the same page or fully on the right page because that was one of the
and
cool things about Parker.
I don't think Reyna's on the same page quite yet with the attack either.
The thing I always really appreciated about with Parker was that it felt like they worked really hard at attacking different areas on set plays, so they weren't getting each other's way.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. Last little bit in this section, just about the midfield. What did you think of Juarez today, and Rusty as well? Rusty,
I thought they were solid.
Played pretty deep, but did get forward way more,
and he was on the ball a lot. He was on the ball.
I liked him again. I thought he was excellent.
He was commanding on the ball. He was directing where it should go and everything like that. I thought he played really well.
I liked his hustle.
The stuff put out, on the social media called it a 4-1-4-1, but it really felt like a 4-2-3-1, and it looked.
Juarez plays really far forward at times.
No, but I think that's what you're when you play a 4-2-3-1. That's what's supposed to happen. One is supposed to stay. One is supposed to go. And so he showed some forays forward. He even took a shot.
Yeah,
he missed the net, but he took a shot.
One shot was blocked too by I think one he took that was blocked by the and late in the.
I only remember the one that missed the net.
I liked his aggression. And even after he got the booking, he was still aggressive. Steve was a little bit worried about that during the game.
I was nervous. I thought there was one foul. I think when Kendall got his yellow card, I turned to the mask next to me and I was like,
"Effie" at first.
Yeah, I was like, "Was that?" Yeah. So it was good. The early yellow card was concerning.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't know MLS refs yet, and he doesn't know that one more tackle and that was going to be him in deep trouble. So who was your man of the match? Is it an obvious one?
Well, for you told us already it was Russell Tybert, right?
Yeah, definitely.
For me,
Rusty. One more thing,
Rusty was good.
Rusty, I thought played really well, and it's been great to see him.
I'd have him in my top 5.
Well, for me, because he's legal to get this man of the match, it would be Alphonso Davies.
Because he isn't able to qualify for the Budweiser man of the match.
Yeah, I thought he was by far the best guy.
What do you mean? Literally?
They said that
give it to him?
They tweeted it out that he was actually not eligible to win the Budweiser man of the match because it's sponsored by a beer company.
I know, it's ridiculous.
I thought Alphonso deserved it too. And not just because he got the winning goal.
Yeah,
and assist,
Fonzie for me as well. But we started something new this week.
Rank the Caps.
Rank them, baby.
We're going to do the rank the Caps. We did a survey, so you could basically rank them from 1 to 14.
You did it, or your monkeys did it?
Oh, the monkeys did it. I just asked them to do it. You rank them from 1 to 14. Everybody kind of gets a point value. For like 14th, will get 1 point. The first place will get 14 points. Essentially, highest average is 14. Number 1, it was exactly what happened in the match. It was Kei Kamara. He got an average of 13.34. Alphonso Davies was second with 13.17, so a very close 1-2.
Close.
And in actuality, somebody voted Alphonso Davies as the 14th best player, which I think there was a troll issue going on there.
Wait, he voted him the worst player?
Yeah, so
maybe
that's
they
why
got confused.
Oh, maybe, I'm not sure.
Maybe they did it backwards.
Yeah, it could have been. Essentially, and then Kendall Wasson was third, tied with fourth, and Teixeira was fifth.
Or maybe it was Kai just wanting to win, so he put Fonzie last.
Wait, say that again. Who's 3, 4, 5?
3, 4, 5 was Waston,
yeah.
Then Tybert, and then Teixeira.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that. I think that was a pretty good one.
I also thought Marcel de Jong played really well.
Yeah.
First half in particular, I thought he did really well.
Of the starters, Mrnjavich was last, 11th.
Yeah, he didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
And then one thing he did have to do.
But he because he's played in Germany, he led a marvelous Humba. It was wonderful. I know you don't care. I know you don't care about that, Michael, but it was awesome.
Yeah. So watch out for this new segment. We'll hopefully games will be on a Saturday, so we'll have a lot more chance for folk to vote in them as well, and we'll maybe put the results up as well during the week on the site.
The other thing I was going to say about de Jong was that was a horrendous tackle at the end of the game.
Oh yeah,
and he said to us after, he's just like, I was shocked the guy wasn't sent off, and I was like, oh, it's MLS refereeing. Then I went home and watched it, and I was like, oh yeah, he should. Mancuso should have been sent off.
That was a really bad one. But anyway, we'll be back with more chat and a look at the weekend's highlights in MLS after this.
Hi, I'm Alphonso Davies, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Welcome back. You are listening to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio. In this part of the show, we're going to turn our attention to MLS.
Some great results this weekend.
It's great to have the league back. We'll start this again. It's a new hour, same start to the show. You're genuinely not excited that MLS is back.
Oh, I just don't like MLS.
But the team that we do a show about plays in MLS.
For now.
Without MLS, there is no show.
They're going to get relegated to the VMSL. But no, there were some great...
When Eric Winalda becomes...
Oh, yeah, probably he'll kick us out. Or if Alexei Lalas has anything to do with anything. Or Taylor Twellman, who tweeted this weekend that it was terrible that Atlanta weren't playing more American guys in their defeat. But anyway, we'll be coming to that. They lost even more, I think.
Why don't we just talk about that right off the bat?
Let's kick that off then, I guess.
4-0.
Yeah. Houston, who the Whitecaps go to play next week, who I had as bottom of the West in my prediction article.
Absolute bottom.
Absolute bottom.
Oh, really? I had him.
You really rated Kubo.
I can't remember.
Just based because they hadn't brought many people in.
Just an absolute rout. There were a couple of missed chances by their star player Almiron. But like a penalty and one other shot that was pretty
open net.
It came right across them and didn't take it. But 4 up at half time, Houston.
Yeah,
it could have been more.
It's hard to tell if we should be concerned about them next week because
I am.
Because it could be that Atlanta just didn't value them at all and just went in there and thought they could just roll over. Well, they got rolled over.
Well, there's the new new Argentine center back had a shocker. They took him off. They took him off in the first half.
Well,
and brought in Parkers.
We've talked about how exciting Atlanta are in attack.
Yeah.
But it does appear that they seem to have forgotten about their defense.
Yeah. And then the other top team in the East, they lost as well.
Yes.
To a team that might be in the West next year. I'm not sure where Columbus will play.
Austin got off to a great start. 2-0 win.
And it just shows how willing Toronto is to save the crew.
Hats off to TFC. The Whitecaps became the only Canadian and Cascadian team to get a win this weekend. Yeah. Let that sink in.
And it could have been that
not even a win, points.
You can say that it's because they were playing in the CONCACAF Champions League, but they were playing at home against Colorado, and it was
they have Tigres coming up though.
Yeah,
so, I mean, they might have their eyes.
Yeah,
on
I got a point.
It makes a tie versus Philly last year look really good.
Yeah.
Just a bit, but yeah, that was a poor performance by them as well. So I mean, lots of folk were tipping them as being 1 and 2. When we did our predictions, that's what the majority of folk went with.
They're not going to be invincible this year.
No.
Neither.
Staying out east, Philly, 2-0 win over New England.
Should have been way more if Philly could actually finish the show.
That was a battle of teams I think most people thought were going to finish in the bottom 2 of the East, if not all of MLS. New England looked shambolic.
Yeah, Jonathan Tannenbaum probably had a really good time watching this one.
Both centre-backs sent off for New England as well. Now, that takes something special to get that done. If that happened to us, so we're screwed.
I want to play New England next week.
Yeah. I was looking to see when are we playing them. That was disappointing it's not next week.
It's July 7th, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a wedding that day.
Not a good team by the looks of it. But early days, you've got to take all these things with a pinch of salt. I don't think Atlanta's going to get hammered 4-0 every week. Can't see New England being that bad every week.
I haven't pegged for the bottom of the East.
Off those two things, I think New England are more likely to be horrific than Atlanta.
I think I put New England a little bit higher, like maybe third last or something.
I had Philly bottom.
I think I had Philly bottom, but I can still see that happening.
No, it's just the first week though.
Early days.
Orlando and DC. You had a former Whitecaps on DC and Maddox and Osted.
Yeah, Osted nearly got a clean
and David
sheet.
Osted.
Yeah.
1-1 draw.
Yeah. It's not Ousted, it's Osted.
Okay.
It's Usted, to be totally correct.
Oh, no, it's Osted.
It's David.
Anyway, David nearly had a clean sheet. Matic missed a penalty in the first half.
Darren Maddox, yeah. But he scored.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
He scored-ish.
It wasn't given to him.
Assad.
Yeah.
Assad.
Well, that's because he's the DP. They want to make sure.
Yeah. Free kick over. Matix went up. Now, I find Matix is most effective in confusing goalkeepers when he misses the ball. And that is what happened. And it led to a goal for DC. But Orlando fought back. They tied it up 2 minutes into stoppage time, which is going to be a sickener, I think, for David. We'll just go with that. 1-1. Another draw. Dallas and RSL. Wasn't a great game. Looked like RSL had the win all wrapped up, but then Dallas got the point with an own goal, 86th minute. The more draws though between Western teams,
it's good for Vancouver.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. If all these teams can just draw each other and then lose against the East, fantastic stuff. But one of the 5 teams in the West that did get off to a winning start this weekend was San Jose Earthquakes, although they nearly did a Whitecaps and nearly bollocksed it up in the closing minutes as well.
They felt very comfortable, I think, at 3-0.
3-2 win in the end. They were 2 goals up by half-time, 3 up by the hour mark, and you're thinking, it's cruise control. Minnesota looked pretty poor. They had nothing at all. I think they had 1 real attempt at that time.
Yeah.
Minnesota, it feels weird because even last year, it was like no real. They brought Demidov as a designated player. He played 3 games, didn't play again. I don't think they actually have a designated player this year. It feels.
Melito looked good though.
Yeah, and scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes, and it looked like there could be a dramatic comeback. But San Jose held on in the end, and that's. I mean, these are the points when you're playing teams like Minnesota. You want to get all 3 points. A draw there would have been fantastic. I think for us. But what was fantastic for us, for everyone that hates Seattle, the Sounders got off to a losing start today.
Against the Goats.
Yeah.
The Goats.
LAFC.
Yeah.
The only undefeated team in MLS history.
They were essentially saved by their keeper really in this game. I think it's Tyler Myers, if I'm not mistaken.
Tyler, it's Miller, and
Tyler Miller.
They're doing great with our goalkeepers.
And he, of course, is a expansion pick from Seattle.
Yeah.
So he I think, really wanted to.
Diego Rossi scored the first goal. It was a great setup, great pass. It'll probably be the pass of the week. I think they have like Pepsi pass of the week for MLS site or whatever. But it will be the pass of the week. And
is that a real thing?
I don't know. I'm assuming it would be. They sponsor everything. He made a pass right to Rossi in his feet, and Rossi, I think, came into the box and shot a really nice shot past.
It was a really nice finish. Blessing had hit the post in the second minute for LAFC as well, and then Sounders had one that was tipped onto the bar in the second half.
But Seattle had most of the chances going in the end.
Bob Bradley was so confident he didn't even need a full bench.
Bobo Bradley.
And then
there's only one Bobo.
Stephen Beitashour got the start. Jordan Harvey didn't, but he came on in the 90th minute
to help close out the match.
Yes. Yeah. Alfaro got sent off late.
It was a rough tackle too.
Second bookable offence, and it was fantastic. I just got to half-time of the Caps. I put on the game just to watch it. Just as the referee put up a yellow card, I didn't know what it was. And then, there's a red card. And it's like, it's the Sounders, even better. But can I just say, I am just hoping beyond hope that loss for Seattle today was the first of 34 of the year. But fingers crossed for that.
It's hard not to disagree with you on that, Michael.
Now, the other 2 games that happened after the Caps, NYCFC, Man City
on the road,
Eastern team beats another Western team.
2-0
on the road in
KC, who I believe somebody in this room tipped to win the MLS Cup.
Yeah, me. But it looks like the Sporting did not have their magic, being Wizards and everything.
No. Morales and Medina, either side of half-time.
It was just basically the sloppy play by the back 4, and Sporting actually had better chances, and if they had finished their chances, they would have won that game. But it was just like I said, New York City FC took care of their chances. Villa,
that's the game.
Villa had, and because like I said, Sporting had it.
If all these Eastern teams can come out west and take points and continue this, fantastic.
Except us, against us.
Oh yeah, obviously that went without saying.
Last game of the week.
Yes, a shocker.
Yeah.
Well, it was for me actually. I thought
it
was terrible last week.
Based on those friendlies.
Again, it was in LA.
True.
But it was the Galaxy taking on the Portland Timbers, and they kind of getting back on track from what they should be.
Ola Kamara,
got
the first.
Kind of bundled it in, kind of Atiba Harris'd it in off his chest, kind of thing.
Classic reference.
Let us talk about the second goal from Romain.
the one where he shot it and went off the post and he passed it into the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Alessandrini, 2 goals in 2 minutes, gave Galaxy the halftime lead. Blanco pulled one back, but...
And did you see that?
The Blanco goal, I think we nutmegged the keeper, Bingham.
Oh, but it was near. Yeah, it was kind of on the angle. But okay, this was a case to me. There was a couple cases in the game. I caught most of the second half. Like there was a couple big calls in the game that, to me, I assume VAR looks at everything. We know they look at everything, but that goal only came about by it was a handball, and you can call ball to hand, but when it leads to a goal, like I thought that's the whole purpose of this VAR, because Addy kind of got spun around and the ball bounced on the ground, hit his arm, bounced down to him, and then he played through. Was Blanco right? Plays through Blanco, and Blanco scores. Yeah. And it was like in LA right away. It's like. Slapping their hands and like what's going on, and then near the end he went to ground easy, but Sebastian Lletget was put in by Cashley Cole and kind of got touched and went down, and it looked like it could have been a penalty, but again VAR said no.
Yeah, but I mean, great to see the Timbers lose as it always is, and I mean. I had them as being first in the West.
Portland?
Yeah.
We agree on a few things.
Yeah. First week of the season, you can't read too much into it, and lots of folk just seem to really overreact with some of the results this weekend, and it's week 1. Teams are still finding their feet. It's ridiculous to look at that, but
it seems like
saying that we are in the playoff places.
Yeah,
we are 4th in the West.
Well, I was saying because all these top teams lost, I was thinking during the game that maybe we should lose the game and be considered as one of the top teams.
Oh, maybe.
But no, we won.
But yeah, I mean, for me, goal of the weekend, Alphonso Davies. It's his first goal, man.
I know, I understand that, but Kamara's goal was better, which was set up by Davies.
Yeah,
the quality of the goal, the significance of the goal. I would say the second one was more significant because it's first in this league, and it was the match winner.
Yeah, and Manchester United was watching.
And I like to feel that I played my part in that goal because I had a nice sit-down chat with Alphonso during the week, and we're going to bring you that after this.
Hi, I'm Jordan Much, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
I wanna try your shoes on. And wear them for a day. Learn to walk like you do. And say what I see. I talk like I know something that everyone wanted to hear. But you're the funds. You're the funds. But you're the funds.
Mashmouth there with the Fawns. Now it's time to talk even more about Alphonso Davies, as if we haven't talked about him enough already. Now, this is a young guy. No one had heard of him coming into today's game.
Nobody even knows how old he is.
No, I'll look it up. Hold on a sec. He's 17.
I love how you pretend like you're holding something in your hand.
I know. I don't know what I've done with my phone. So yeah, Alphonso, only 17, and to be only 17 and score your first MLS goal, it's a bit late in my eyes because you're signing 15 and 16-year-olds now, and he has played a lot of games, but it was a little bit overdue. It's finally here now. I'm pleased for the lad. He was pleased after the game as well. There's some photos which we'll have up on AFTN that Tom took from during the game, and just the sheer look of delight on his face after he's celebrated with his teammates. There's a beautiful picture there, so... There's a lot of pressure on the kid, and sometimes Robbo's criticised a little bit for keeping him away from the media and trying to deflect the pressure because it's always going to be there. But when you score like that and you have a game like that, and I know it wasn't a great goal, but he did take it well. It's a goal, his cross and stuff, and he's targeted getting assists and more assists this year.
Yeah,
I think that's the key thing. Folk wanted him to be a starter. There's no way he's not going to be a starter now.
No, it feels like he's taken on what the coaches have said to him. Because, I think if you would ask them, they would say at the end of last season, they did not see him as a starter. and that's why he wasn't starting. But no, he is coming to preseason flying, I think, making contributions.
I think Kai's had a good impact on him as well.
And I think the other thing is, like you talking about, they didn't see him as a starter. They even at the end of the halftime, Robbo mentioned it after the game that he challenged Davies because he didn't think he was playing. He kind of lost it a little bit near the end of the first half. So in this game Sunday, he challenged him and tried to get him to, and it worked obviously because he picked up an assist and a goal.
If he has a good season, you have to think he's going to move when he's 18. He's talked about he wants to be in Europe.
But he could still be sold and loaned back until the end
well,
of the
no,
year.
that's true, actually. Yeah, he could be sold at any time. But I got a chance to have our third annual pre-season chat with Fonzie now. Had a chat with him during the week just about the season ahead, Canada, and a lot more besides. So let's play that for you now.
Fonzie, you're about to enter your third MLS season, second full season. How are you feeling going into it?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling comfortable. First time. When I first played my first season with the club, I was very nervous. Didn't know what to expect in the league. Second season was, me just trying to figure out what I have to do now. Third season going to, I think I know the basics. Being able to move the ball quick. Make runs, play with the team. I got adapted to the league a little bit more.
Obviously, we've seen you grown since you first came into it. How do you feel, though, yourself as a player that you've developed over these past 2 years?
Yeah, I've developed, I wouldn't say like rapidly, but I'm still working up there. I have great support with the team, the club, the coaching staff. They all try to do their best to help me out and be the best that I can on and off the field.
Now, obviously as a young player, you get a lot of pressure on you, but whenever we've spoken to you, you've always been very grounded, you've always been very humble, really down to earth. But does the pressure get to you at all, or do you just put it all to the back of your mind?
I just try to put it in the back of my mind. I don't really try to focus on it too much, because I think that's, as I was told, I've also seen players tend to take the pressure and, try to do too much, and then that's when players start going downhill. But as of me, try to, where I come from, I think I use that as motivation, keep my head down, because not everyone gets the opportunity to play professional football. So I have to make the best out of it as I can.
Now, I've not had a chance to speak to you since you were involved with Canada and the Gold Cup. That was such a whirlwind thing. You got your citizenship, then a few weeks later you're playing for Canada in the Gold Cup, you're scoring the goals. Just talk us through how that month to 6 weeks was for you, just from getting the citizenship to playing in that tournament.
Getting the citizenship, the test was a little bit, it wasn't really, really hard, but, Joe and the other staff members helped me out. I was walking through training one day, be asking me random questions about Canada, and I have to answer them. So I think they helped me study when I went into the test.
I haven't done mine yet, so
no.
I need to do mine.
I went to the test, got 19 out of 20, so I was really shocked when she came back with my result. And right after that, I got a message saying, "We want you to come with the national team." I was excited. I was like, "Oh yes." That's what because every kid's dreams to play for their national team. So I went to the national team, Gold Cup, first game. I was nervous. I started on the wing. I was really nervous coming into the game. I made a little bit of movement on the wing, lost the ball. Marcel told me, keep going, don't let this bother you. So I kept going. I was fortunate enough to get 2 goals in the first game. 1 goal against Costa Rica. Kendall wasn't really happy about that. So, yeah, overall, I'm just grateful.
When you look back at that tournament and getting that goal, I mean, it must have gone way better than you ever imagined. I mean, you're a confident guy, you know that you can score goals, but to go and get those goals, win the Golden Boot, was it just everything that you dreamed of?
Well, yeah, I didn't think I was going to win the Golden Boot. just went in there, try to help the team out, as best as I can, and picking up the golden boot, it's just a little bit, I think a little bit extra for me. But the ultimate goal in that tournament was to win the Gold Cup, but we came out short. So I think next year we'll go at it again, try to bring it to Canada.
Obviously, you were in that camp under Octavio. He's moved on now. John Herdman's come in. Have you had a chance to speak to like Jordan or Julie or any of the Whitecaps girls to get any tips as to what the new coach is going to be like to work with?
No, I haven't talked to anybody. I've only met him once in person. Hi, how are you? Good, nice to meet you. That was it. So then I think this camp coming up in March in Spain, I think that's the time we're gonna build relationship, get to know each other. But I saw what he did with the women's team. He's a good coach. Went to the Olympic. I think they got bronze. So overall, he looks like a good coach. So hopefully, he coaches. Does well with us. Men put us through.
Now, looking to this season, you can play a number of different positions. I mean, we even saw you playing left back in pre-season down in LA, but we've seen you on the wing. You've looked good playing through the middle as well when we've kind of seen you there. Is there a position that you feel as you get older and you start to develop your skills that might be the position that you prefer to play, or where do you see yourself ideally fitting in on the pitch?
I think if they put me anywhere, I'll be able to play that position. Left back, I think he played me there. I did all right. I did okay for the first time because I usually play. I think last season I played a couple times left back in training. Yeah, so I usually play wing in games, but now he puts me as a left back in left wing back against the Japanese team. I did all right. He just told me to go up and down, so that's what I did. So wherever the coach sees fit, he wants to put me out, I'll play.
Do you prefer being on the wing though, or do you like being through the middle?
I prefer being on the wing a little bit more because you get space out there. You can go at players. And in the middle, it's crowded. You have to make your own space, and I think I don't have that ability to do that. So I leave that with the midfielders.
Now, a few new faces in the team this year, Kei Kamara being one of them. The two of you really seem to have hit it off. It's like an older brother for you, basically, on the pitch. Just talk a little bit about the relationship you've had with Kei so far.
I think Kei and I are kind of similar. We enjoy the same music. I think us being from same part of the world. I think that's what builds character, and also his story as well. Similar. I think almost a similar thing. So yeah, him coming in, I was excited. Never met him. I've only played against him once. So him coming in, the guys talk highly about him, and I can see why he's a great role model.
And we saw kind of in the Las Vegas game, if anyone messes with you, they seem to have him to answer with. It's kind of like you've got a little enforcer on the pitch there looking after you. Just that kind of relationship, and also because everyone knows the talent that you've got, it does seem to attract attention to you on the pitch. We saw it in the Vegas game, even the game against LA on Saturday night. You got a little elbow from Carrasco as well. Are you worried that folk will kind of try and do stuff to you to take you out of the game?
No, I'm not worried. It happens. Players get hit. Players attack other players. So I'm not worried. I just go out and try to play my game, try to do what I have to do. I don't really try to get myself involved. Last time I tried, I got myself involved, got sent off against Jamaica. So I can't try to keep myself out of that as much as possible now.
The season ahead, for the team and for yourself, what are you hoping for? What's your goals? What do you feel you need to do to get more minutes this year, more starts at least?
I think performance on the training pitch, because that's where coach sees you perform. It doesn't just say, okay, he did okay in training, just put him in the game and see if he performs. It just all starts in training. If you have a poor training, you might have a poor game. we have a great training, great game. So me going to this season, just trying to help the team get as much wins as possible. Hopefully bring MLS Cup to Vancouver. So yeah, and also try to get as many assists as possible, being a winger, supplying balls inside. Also try to get some few goals.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time, Fonzie, and good luck this season. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fonzie.
I got the moves when you see me on a Saturday night. I got the moves, true house playing and the music's alright. I got the move, hey, hey, I think I do. I got the move, hey, hey, I think you do too.
Alphonso Davies certainly has the moves on a Saturday night, a Sunday afternoon, and hopefully all season long. Great to chat to Fonzie. We've spoken to him the last two pre-seasons as well, and he's just grown in confidence. The first interview we did, but we've never actually brought that out. I'll bring that out in one of the extra podcasts actually, so folk can hear it, because I just did it as a written piece. But he was humble.
He was a 15-year-old.
Yeah, he was a 15-year-old. He's grown so much as a person these last 2 years as well. But he is still quite easy to wind up, because when we were doing that interview, because everyone knows Fonzie doesn't do many interviews over the year. So we were in a room doing it, and then Robbo walked past, and then Robbo bangs on the glass, and Fonzie looks at him, and then Robbo wags his finger and says, "What are you doing?" And the look on his face, and he's pointing at Nathan, who's with Robbo, like, is it? I was like, it's okay, he knows about it, he's just winding you up. I said, oh, I should have kept that in the interview, actually. I cut that.
Oh, yeah.
You probably have it somewhere, though.
Yeah. But he's just a fun guy, and he's having so much fun with Kamara, and Robbo talked about it after the game today. Kamara's got a bit of a bad rep by some in the league, but Robbo basically feels that Kamara's been a great influence with him off the pitch, and
as long as we don't bring an Argentinian number 10, I think we'll be okay.
We have a Brazilian number 10.
Penalties. Wait till Fonzie wants to take a penalty that Kei wants to take.
No, I mean, with Kei, we don't fully know what happened. There was unrest amongst teammates.
Yeah.
And
I personally think Kamara knew they were going to move to Austin and want to get out of there.
I'm just glad it happened, because now we have him. So, but yeah, going back to Fonzie, I'm going to put an article up this week on AFTN, and we talked a little bit about it there. I've spoke to Kei about it as well, and Robbo this week as well. We didn't see it today, but we saw it in the last two pre-season games where he gets an elbow. Against Vegas, the guy gets sent off. Against Galaxy, nothing happened with that one. Now that he scored today as well, it kind of raises it a little bit more. He was always a danger man, but folk know he's a danger man.
Oh, he's going to get kicked way more.
Are you worried he's going to get kicked, he's going to get targeted? And are you worried how he reacts to that?
It's going to be part of his growing process. If he's going to be a star player, every star player gets targeted and gets kicked.
Yeah, he said in that interview he learned from the mistake he made against Jamaica by kicking out. So he knows he's going to be targeted. Doesn't bother him, but he just needs to work mentally on how he reacts to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, we've got Kei, the enforcer, taking
people
care
are going to target him physically. They're going to target him verbally, and whatever else they can target him with. They're going to try to get under his skin.
Oh yeah, because that's what I would want us to do to an opposition player.
It's helpful now that VAR is around, right? Because I've listened to some old time MLS defenders in the off season, where we're talking about how you can't get away with.
Yeah,
doing some of the stuff.
So you followed the MLS in the off season as well.
Well, see that, like when I was watching football back in Scotland in the lower leagues, that was the thing. If you had a flashy young teenage guy that was showing tricks, you just kick lumps out of him and take him out of the game, and you got away with it. It's just something that happened. But now with VAR, you're not going to get away with it as much. But once the kicks happen, the kicks happen.
And you get disco too.
Yeah.
Does it still exist, disco, technically?
I think it does.
I guess,
I think they're kind of downplaying it a little bit, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure Kendall will get discoed for the rake in the face or something. They know we've no centre-back, so they'll target us for that. But, yep, good to chat to Fonzie. Looking forward to seeing what he can do on the pitch this year with the Whitecaps, with Canada as well. Bright future ahead for the lad. Let's hope we get a fourth pre-season chat with him next year.
Yeah. Well,
wherever he is, we'll just do it.
For sure.
Yeah, there you go.
But let me guess. It's your favourite time of the week.
It is. It's my favourite time of the week. It's Wavelength time, and we did something a couple of weeks ago for Joe with an Irish bent.
Oh, no.
We had stuff for Zach last week with a German bent.
Yeah.
So now it's a bent Scotsman.
Oh, I thought it was for Steve.
Oh, no.
There's no Indian soccer songs, so that's what I will play.
I was going to say Canadian.
Well, I assumed you would say Indian like you have in the past.
But you're born here, you're Canadian.
I know.
I was going to say.
I didn't know you thought yourself as Indian.
Yeah, I think you think me as that. Okay, let's get on to the show. I want to go home and sleep.
Today is the birthday of a Scottish legend, Kenny Dalglish. His son Paul has been around in USL and stuff as well. So I'm going to play a song now from a group called Barmy Army, Sharp as a Needle, from their 1989 album The English Disease. So let's just play that for you now.
Rush wearing number 9, attacking as we want. The referee, Clive Thomas, the man who was involved in that controversial incident. Dalglish, ball into the 2-4-1. It's there. Oh, beautiful running net by Dalglish. Dalglish at his best. Dalglish, sharp as a needle. Least drives bang with his right foot. Liverpool one behind, equalised. They've now forged ahead.
Hey, it's Marco Bustos. You're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Nobody gonna take my time. Nobody gonna take what's mine. I got this on this, going strong. Nobody gonna take my time. Nobody gonna take what's mine. I got this on this, going strong. You think you know me, but I know you don't.
Welcome back. You're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio, broadcasting from the unceded Musqueam Territory at the University of British Columbia. Just before the break there, you heard Barmy Army, Sharp as a Needle from their 1989 album The English Disease. And Steve, tell us a little bit about the song you've just played there.
Well, we played it a couple of weeks ago.
It needs to be like a full played Wavelength song.
Yeah, we might do that.
Is it about football?
Yes, that's all I heard. There was something football.
I understood.
I love a footballer.
I understood it more than I understood what the sharpest needle was. This is what they're singing there. But
you left, and Steve's like, I think we should just go on the air while the song's playing. Just saying, we don't know what this is. We don't know what's going on.
I was going to see if we could confuse the listeners and think of ask you what was going on.
I think I've seen this is the video where the people are in the stadium when the nose game's on and they're singing, right?
Well, Abide By Me is the hymn that they sing before the FA Cup. So that was sampling Abide By Me with commentary from Liverpool in the FA Cup final and Dalglish scoring a wonder goal.
And Barmy Army put this out just by putting the beats to it. And
yeah, they have a whole album of football songs on their album The English Disease. Some of them about football hooliganism, so you'd probably like that. Which is what is known as the English Disease.
I'm very aware.
But this song that we did play
that
was...
no chins.
This song that we did play was Hallie Hallow. It's in honor of Marco Busto scoring his first goal because it is Marco Busto's WAG.
Congrats to Marcos on the goal.
Yeah, great to see him off the mark. And let's talk about some more international and local and national news now. It's time for BC Soccer Web headlines. BC Soccer Web Headlines is brought to you in partnership with bcsoccerweb.com, your one-stop site for local, national and international news and links. Make it part of your everyday routine. Visit bcsoccerweb.com. What's been catching your eye on the site this week, Steve?
Okay, so let's go international first. Video assistant doctors for World Cup to assess concussions. Basically, they will be able to give doctors access to video in order for them to see if somebody's been concussed, to how the hit on the head happened, how hard it was, stuff like that. Only issue I have with it, it's the nation's doctor. It's not a third-party doctor. Obviously, maybe the nation's there's how important the player is. They'd be dependent on if they call it a concussion or not.
Well, that's the
right?
thing. You see it so often in games, especially the top flight games. Players just go back on when you're thinking they really should not be going back on.
I remember specifically that German player in the World Cup that really looked like he was knocked out, and they just
Schweinsteiger in the final.
No, it was somebody. It was a younger player.
Adolf, someone.
It was Kramer.
I like I said, I don't remember the name.
All I remember is winning.
No, I'm sure you did. But there was a player who was looked dazed. Very dazed, and they kept him on or something like that.
Oh, yes. I do remember that. I can't remember who it was, but yeah.
Hovidis? Benedict
Again, don't know names.
I don't know their
Don't follow through.
Don't pay any attention.
Yeah. The VAR obviously played a lot of stuff this week. World Cup coaches were briefed on VAR.
They loved it.
IFAB had their announcement.
And then FIFA also are still gathering together to make the final decision on VAR, whether it's going to be used at the 2018 World Cup.
Middle of this month it's going to come.
One comment on VAR. It does not feel weird that VAR seems to be most logically and effectively used, have been applied in MLS.
Yes.
Yeah.
We criticize pro refs a lot, as everyone does.
Well,
but
they need VAR.
Yeah, but they've implemented it fantastic. When it came
pretty
in,
well, not pretty well.
We all got briefed as to how it worked, like all the media guys. I did a USL game where it was part of it, and it's like we got a good briefing, we got everything explained. It's been rolled out here really well.
Yeah,
and then you watch games like Tottenham against Rochdale, where it was absolutely farcical.
And that's why, and the next thing we talked about was the Premier League's clubs are not expected to approve it for next season.
I don't blame them.
The thing is I 100% agree with you. I think I read somewhere, and it wasn't one of these articles, but I read somewhere where they said it was 98%.
Wait, are you reading articles from other sites?
I am. Because you need to just double check things. But BC Soccer Web cannot.
Game changer.
Bill is going to be so disappointed.
You can't expect Bill to catch every article. He does such a fantastic job.
Though.
But it says somewhere that 98% of the VAR decisions are accurate.
Yeah, well,
and so
you would kind of hope it would be more than that, though, really, because
they're
looking
because it's a perception for the referee. Maybe he just doesn't see what everybody else sees.
They're just taking way too long in England, though, to get things explained and dealt with.
Yeah. Steve, are you saying that sometimes the referee doesn't see something that everyone else does?
That's what I say. Something to do with blind mice. News from Iran: they detained 35 women for going to a football match, just for going to a football match, trying to enter. The match was attended by FIFA President Gianni Infantino. He assured people the next day that eventually women would be attending matches in Iran. Of course, Blatter said the same thing years ago, and that hasn't changed, so I don't know how much that's going to change.
And they've changed it in Saudi Arabia, I believe. So, I mean, you can go and watch games there. And when we talked about this before, there's a really good film, Offside. It's about two girls that dress up as boys to go in and watch the football. So check that out if you haven't already.
And one of my favorite things from a couple of years ago was when, I think it was in Turkey, I'm going to say that the men were banned from the match, and it was only women and children allowed to go, or something like that. Do you recall that? There was a YouTube video.
I don't, but it sounds wonderful.
It was a YouTube video. I saw it on YouTube, and I can't remember what teams it was, but it was that where it was just women at the match and just kids.
Did the kids all have flares?
I don't think so. It was more flowers and candies. Okay, so getting into U.S. soccer, bad news for NASL. They will be canceling.
More bad news.
They will be canceling their full 2018 season. They were going to play fall. They canceled spring. Going to play fall. That's done off too.
They're down to 4 teams now. Or
well,
something.
Jacksonville Armada, Miami, and the Cosmos apparently going to NPSL, and San Diego will be going to USL, trying to get into it in 2019.
I honestly think USL should not let them in unless they change their ridiculous name.
The 1904.
1904 San Diego, is this called?
Yeah, it's
just 1904 FC.
Yeah, 1904 FC.
Okay, sorry, is that when San Diego became a city?
Maybe, possibly.
No,
I don't know.
19th letter of the alphabet is S.
Oh.
The 4th letter of the alphabet is D.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
1904.
We lost that.
That's what the locals refer to in the gang community in San Diego as.
Oh, at least there's some.
At least from 1904.
At least there's some local connection.
I think they have some problems with supporters then if they're looking for gangs to support them.
Yeah, but because like Bayer Leverkusen, it's Bayer Leverkusen 04 because they were founded in 04, right?
Which makes sense. All the reformed Phoenix clubs in England usually put the year of
I think there was an Anchorman reference too to 1904, but I can't remember what it was. It was something weird. Like he gave some false fact about 1904.
Well, at least it
in
wasn't
San Diego.
Go F Yourself FC.
Yeah.
Or something.
But they NASL, like we said, NASL season is cancelled, but the lawsuit continues. It will be going
it's
forward.
a never-ending lawsuit.
But only the 20, like NASL technically isn't dead, right? It's just the 2018
this season's cancelled, yeah. But the
they
teams
still have hopes, but they're down to 4 teams. So.
Punk is nicht tot.
MLS news. Beckham's Miami Stadium looks kind of might not happen. There's a lawsuit.
Who would have thought?
There's a lawsuit from a certain individual. I can't remember his name, but he's a citizen, and he's suing because he feels like the Miami Stadium is receiving secret discount from taxpayers, so he's getting some kind of discount there. He thinks it's illegal based on Florida laws, and also another issue is their own owners are having issues with the site because they don't think it's big enough because they want to make the most technological, advanced, futuristic stadium in the country. I don't know what that means. I don't know what they're going to have there.
It'll be like one of those
solar-powered
Qatar ones with like air conditioning.
Oh,
I don't know.
I just like how
I saw that one. Yeah.
When you go on the MLS website and it has all the team logos at the top, and then it has NSH for Nashville, and it just says MIA, which is I think missing in action, which is what this team is going to be.
I mean, this is not surprising, right? Like, no, I don't think anyone is shocked that there's more issues with finding a place to build a ground for them.
Speaking of issues, Austin, the future site of possibly Columbus, might not be the future site. The Austin team for the USL will start going forward.
Yeah.
They're going to have they've been on hold for 4.5 months, but they are building a 5,000 seat stadium, and they will move. But they will move if MLS does come to Austin. So they are in that. But they kind of given the green light to expand in 2019.
Well, no, it's not even totally that they've been given the green light. They've said if you don't start in 2019, you might lose the. I don't know if they're losing money or just the franchise.
I think they'll just lose the opportunity to join the league.
Here's what I think is going to happen. They won't end up in Austin, but they'll Precourt will strike a deal with San Antonio, and the team will end up there.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, man. That wouldn't...
but the one site has been... the Parks Board voted 11-0 to take Metro Park site off the table. It's a Guerrero National Metro Park or something.
Guerrero, yeah.
And essentially they're saying that they're not anti-soccer or anti-soccer stadium, but they don't want it built on public parkland.
Well, some of the people were appalled that was even brought up. And then the Precourt people are saying nothing should be taken off until all of them have been analyzed or whatever.
Of course they're going to say that.
Yeah.
But you can't expect to build it on parkland. It just makes the whole thing even worse.
Precourt is
pretty bad as it is.
In once a certain, I think it was the Statesman. Precourt is being compared to the monorail salesman.
Oh yeah, I read that.
Well, you're supposed to read all of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Seattle announced a live streaming partnership with YouTube TV as well.
I didn't read that one.
I did.
They still have partnership with on the actual TV. I think it's KCPQ and some Kong TV. They still
used
have
to be on Joe TV.
Yeah, but I think that was used to be
Root Sports and stuff they were on as well. But it's going to be $40 a month for the YouTube TV.
No, YouTube is basically you get on all the other channels as well. Like you'll get a lot of cable TV. Well, people who cut the cord and they just want YouTube TV. It's all like ABC, NBC, all those channels, and
it's just online.
So yeah, it'll be online. But speaking of streaming,
yes,
we do have a streaming avenue in Canada.
I am in the zone.
So this shows. We were talking about this earlier, Michael. Mm-hmm. This just shows how little this league cares about Canada. Because
by signing up to a great streaming service.
Well, no, okay.
You get to watch darts. That's what I've been spending the whole weekend doing.
So USL
Open.
I know you got it for free, but USL Live, MLS Live.
Yeah, I did get that for free. I don't get the zone for free.
MLS Live was what, like no, but
it still works actually because I watched some games on it.
I think it was like what $12 or something.
No, it was
it was $79.99.
Oh, for a full year.
I mean, that's American. That's American, right? So now what? The zone is $150 for the year.
$150 for the year, $20 a month. But you get
all this rubbish. You get all this rubbish darts. I guess there's some other football in there.
You get
English Championship, Carabao Cup.
Yeah, no one
La
cares
Liga.
about that.
Yeah, La Liga, Serie A, those small.
And if you like other leagues, they do have the NFL, the American football,
boxing.
I watched darts. I think before I watched some of those.
Well, there you go. Now,
if you get it, you can catch up on the.
Because it's on demand, right?
Oh, the darts this weekend. They had to have the tournament with no fans.
I just stopped all those, like, well, actually I never paid for being. I just had the preview, but I stopped.
Well, you get being on DAZN as well.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's a part of it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Because I stopped Sportsnet World like months ago.
I still have that for FA Cup and
I would never
Scottish
sign up
Premiership.
for that.
But you get your Scottish football.
Yeah, good.
No, I did because German football.
I'm barely watching MLS.
Anyway, I can't recommend the zone enough. It's fantastic. They had issues initially with NFL and things not working. I've had no problems with it at all. The darts is fantastic. One bad thing, though...
You do get a free month as well.
Yeah. One bad thing, though, about MLS this year, on MLS Live, you had your 20-minute condensed games. That is not happening on DAZN or MLS Live yet. I don't know whether it's coming.
What about ESPN? Where it's $4.99 a month.
No, remember, this is ESPN. They're
ESPN Plus?
Yeah, they're charging what they're charging. It's not MLS. MLS sold it for whatever they're going to sell
it. But
it's ESPN's
I'm
choice.
just talking, what's the price to the consumer? That just feels dirty coming out of my mouth in that way. But what is the price? What is the price that the supporters and the fans have to pay?
I know. It's a lot of money. But a lot of people signed up for
I don't.
So ESPN Plus is cheaper than MLS Live.
I understand that, but that's
you're
ESPN
more than MLS as well.
Yeah, right. ESPN is that's
what
their
is ESPN
price.
Plus? So you get everything on ESPN.
Yeah, probably darts as well.
Remember ESPN? Like if the normal cable package, they may be getting a couple bucks a month from people like through their cable package, like through licensing fees with cable companies. If they're able to charge $5 and give you all their programming, they're going to make more money that way than the $2 they were getting from the cable company. So it makes sense for them.
It's the future, Zach.
It is the future.
Oh yeah, no,
Whereas the Zone, they have to license each product, and they don't have a TV thing, so that's why their prices are higher.
And with the Zone, you've got 7 days to watch the game in full, and everything else apart from MLS, you've got condensed highlights, and it's fantastic.
There you go. Thanks for update.
Darts condensed highlights?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait, you watched darts without condensing?
No.
I've watched it all.
Okay, that's enough darts.
I've been watching 8 hours of
When's
darts
the dart
a day.
podcast come out?
Joe and me are working on that after his exams. We are going to bring that out.
Nice of you to be sensitive to
probably
the
going to
school
call
schedule.
it either Kissing the Lipstick or 3 in a Bed.
Yeah.
What is that?
Terms I have no idea, but I'll probably have to run the board. Getting to Canada, Canada, North America, CONCACAF really. Gold Cup is expected to be expanded to 16 teams in 2019.
Crossing my fingers for Cascadia.
And they're also moving the hosting, so it just won't be a home tournament for the U.S. anymore.
Crossing my fingers for the Bahamas.
But what do you guys think about that? It's a good thing that they're talking about, like, if it goes outside the U.S., it'll be kind of shared. Like, for example, El Salvador and, Trinidad, Tobago. I don't know.
Trinidad and Tobago could both host it.
Yeah. There you go.
St. Kitts and Nevis.
There you go, yeah. Morocco and Qatar.
But they're keeping it every 2 years still, right?
I don't know about that. They haven't decided on that.
It's good to expand it, get the smaller nations in, but the quality's not going to be there either. So
I think they just want more games.
They do, but it's going to be crap games because the quality's not there.
Doesn't make a difference. People still pay for it. Herdman is making news in Canadian soccer because he has appointed Mauro Barallo to a U23 director position, and he's going to be the Olympic coach essentially. So,
man, was that just this week? It feels so long ago now.
Well, it happened on Tuesday.
I was on a conference call with Herdman and Biello after the appointment.
And then he did a press conference finally, the first 30-day press conference.
Yeah, so we're actually going to bring you that press conference, the conference call that was on in one of the extra podcasts, where a lot of it was in French. I didn't have a lot of idea what was going on, but some of it is in English. That I can understand.
You could have done a YouTube video of you listening to the call and your facial reactions.
When the call first went live and Richard Scott was just introducing everyone, it was all in French, and I thought I'd misread the email, and then it was a French conference call, and I was like,
But you hung in there.
Yeah, so he's like saying, such a person, are you here? Oui, are you here? Oui, and then Michael, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so the good thing, Mauro is in charge of the U23.
Yeah,
used to be. I think
then they created the a
position for him. Yeah, essentially, what it seemed like the article was that Zambrano was going to do this on his own, and now it's Biello that's going to be doing this instead of. So Herdman's international team, Biello will be doing Olympic team and U23, obviously, which is what the Olympic.
The
team
Olympic
is.
team desperately needs to get together more than they do than they have for previous tournaments in the past. So hopefully that helps with that.
But like the press release, what it said, and this is the question that I asked Herdman, and I know we're going to run out of time, so I'll be quick about this, but the press release said that the hope is that they'll work with partners, so clubs like MLS clubs and other clubs, to make sure that Canadian players are in the best environment to get the maximum playing time. They've got no say in that, really. These players belong to clubs. You can't just say to the Whitecaps, we want David Norman to get more playing time.
I understand
you need to do this with
him.
him.
No, it's not a demand. It's more. I know they might have sounded like that, but I think it's more massaging the team.
Yeah, he said it's going to be difficult, but you'll have.
It's whining and dining.
Have these important conversations.
It's whining the dining. Like you'll see Mauro, the whining and dining Robbo. Getting him drunk and everything, and getting him to agree to start David Norman the next weekend.
Yeah, no, that's not how this is going to work.
Oh no, it doesn't work like that.
No.
To be honest, if I was sitting down with John Herdman and he was going through always TED Talk style stuff, I would just give him whatever he wants just to get out of there.
Well, more on the national team. Well, what their chances for the World Cup in 2026 is. It's less than
hosting.
Yeah,
winning.
No, making it to it, because if they're not hosting it, their chances are less of making it. Right?
That's very true.
The World Cup bid is in jeopardy. according to sources. It's what they're trying to say. A lot of people said, "Oh no, it's Morocco's got it. Morocco's got all the votes."
But it's so close to Russia and Qatar.
They don't have the votes. They don't have the votes, but it's more like it's going to be closer than what people expected.
Yeah, it's on a knife edge.
Like both of us, we said 90, 85, 99% or whatever. It might not be that far
I've gone
off.
down to 60.
Well, the one part of the article, it was like, if they have Africa, presumably the voting for as a block for them.
They'll vote
if they have all of Africa, they have all of Asia, they have all.
They don't have all of Asia.
No,
they
but
have half.
in one part of the article, they said one perspective was that they have all of Africa, all of Asia, all of South America, which is more than 104 they would need. To get this.
South America, you'd think they would be on North America side because it's a similar time zones and everything. You get
less travel and everything.
Exactly.
as well.
So I'd be surprised about that. And
are you questioning the reasons why federations and FIFA would vote for certain?
And I know a lot of the players, although they obviously they don't have a vote in this, but I know a lot of the players would rather play a tournament in North America than play in Morocco at that point, playing.
And
in
you
Qatar.
think FIFA's going to ask the player?
I just said that they don't have a say in it, but I know they would prefer that. And obviously the rights holders, TV rights holders, the biggest one usually is, whether it's England or in Europe or in North America, the Americans paying a big amount. They want that in there. So money sometimes talks and they might get it.
This is a really significant thing. If Canada somehow doesn't get the rights to host the World Cup, it's going to be...
I'll maybe be moving back to Scotland
Sooner
than 2027.
But the best chance, I think, the best thing for North America is Sepp Blatter's on Morocco's side, I think, and that helps.
See, I don't think it does, though, because he still has such a large following amongst so many of these corrupt
people,
corporations and stuff.
So you have Sepp Blatter on one side, and you have, at least in some people's mind, the American president on the other side. So
we'll see how it goes.
Like Ivanka.
We'll see how it goes. It's still mid-June.
There was a joke there. I'm not going to bite on that one, Michael.
Oh, you can tell it. We can cut it out later. A final bit of news. It's actually kind of pretty good news for CPL, actually. In Victoria, Langford, they're looking to expand its stadium from 1,700 to 8,000. It's going to cost $5 million. They don't really have a timeline of when it's going to happen, how quickly, but it's very good news if they want to get, because they want to get, obviously CPL. They want to have rugby come in. They want the BC Lions to play exhibition games there. That's what they're looking at.
Well, the way their attendance is going, they can probably play all their games there.
Yeah. So that's essentially a very good thing, because we talked about, I think last week or a week before, that we were saying that we're talking about particular Victoria, and we didn't think it was going to be a very good chance.
No, I would love to see a team in Victoria. I still think the cost of clubs getting there and for them travelling off the island for so many away games is very prohibitive. But that aside...
they have planes on the island, or they have an airport over there, right?
Why don't they have the Victoria team be sponsored by BC Ferries? Free ferry rides for everybody.
But they can't fly. Flying ferries.
No, but that's what I was saying.
I need my bed.
I said initially that the main sponsor for this league needs to be Air Canada.
Yeah.
Or WestJet. Or something like that, because they need to get some discount.
Long term, Victoria needs to be in the Canadian Premier.
Yeah, it's just they've never had the venue. This seems to
help
that.
Definitely, yeah.
So a great selection of news stories there. Packed show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Just before we go, let everyone know where they can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter at WhitecapsBeat.
For me, it's at ZacharyAM, and I'm a part of the Movement Curva Collective.
I'm Michael McCall. You can find me on Twitter at AFTN Canada, on Instagram at AFTN Soccer. If this stomach pain of mine doesn't get better, you can probably find me in VGH Hospital as well. We'll see how that goes. You can also read our stuff away from the numbers, aftn.ca. And on Thursday, we'll be bringing out our second of our preview podcasts, hosted by Joe Deasy, Gideon Hill, and Nicholas Ruprecht. And we'll maybe have a special guest or two on that episode as well. So watch out for that. Your podcast feeds on Thursday.
Yeah, because you never know who you're going to have an interview with. Like Jordan Much, for example. Yeah. You got the first interview with him. You stuck it on the preview podcast. Yeah. It was fantastic.
Watch out for that on Thursday. Enjoy this show. Thanks for listening. Until next time, take care. And mon the Caps.
Going to your first match is an experience you never forget. The atmosphere of what's going on around the pitch looks beautiful, and you always look and go, wow, I'd love to play here one day. If you get the bug, it's going to stay with you for life.